Welcome, everyone. Join us as we set sail on a grand voyage filled with love, loss, and the enduring legacy of a legendary disaster. Have your tickets ready and welcome aboard the Ship of Dreams, aka Titanic. Titanic is, well, a musical with music and lyrics by Maury Yeston and a book by Peter Stone. It is based, as we know, on the story of the RMS Titanic, which sank during its maiden voyage on April 15th of 1912. Now, in 1985, the wreckage of the RMS Titanic was discovered about 370 miles south-southeast off the coast of Newfoundland at a depth of about 12,500 feet beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean. This attracted the interest of Maury Yeston, a musical theater composer and lyricist best known for the 1982 Broadway musical Nine. Maury Yeston had this to say: "What drew me to a musical about the story of the Titanic was the positive aspects of what the ship represented. 1. Humankind's striving after great artistic works and similar technological feats despite the possibility of tragic failure. And 2. The dreams of the passengers on board. With the third class's immigration to America for a better life, second class wanting to live a leisured lifestyle in imitation of the upper classes, and first class, well, to maintain their privileged positions forever. The collision with the iceberg, however, dashed all of these dreams simultaneously, and the subsequent transformation of the passengers and crew had seemed to me the potential for great emotional and musical expression on stage." Yeston saw the story as unique to turn-of-the-century British culture, with its rigid social class systems and romanticizing of progress through technology. In order to depict that on stage, because this is a very real English show, said Yeston, I knew I would have to have a color similar to the one found in the music of the great composers at that time, like Elgar or Vaughan Williams. This was for me an opportunity to bring in the musical theater an element of the symphonic tradition that I think we really haven't had before. The Ship of Dreams would set sail at the L'Enfantin in April of 1997, running for 804 performances, starring Married with Children actor David Garrison, All My Children soap actor Larry Keith, stage, film, and television actress Alma Cuervo, two-time Tony Award winner Michael Cerveris, two-time Tony Award winner Victoria Clark, and five-time Tony nominee Brian D.R.C. James. Not only did the set encompass three actual levels to help the impression of the size of the ship, but the lobby of the theater was redecorated for the production, including a complete passenger list of the Titanic painted on the walls, noting those who had ultimately survived the disaster. This production would later go on to win 5 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Now, fun fact, after the cast album was nominated for a Grammy Award, the musical received hundreds of professional and amateur productions worldwide and has actually become a national and international staple of musical theater. By July of 2012, original Broadway cast member Don Stevenson, who created the part of Charles Clark, developed a new chamber version of Titanic in collaboration with choreographer Liza Gennaro, opening at the Hangar Theater in Ithaca, New York. The scaled-down production used 20 actors playing all of the roles, an abstract set design, projections of the actual ship and passengers, and new orchestrations designed to make the score sound as if it was being played by the ship's band. Material that had been previously cut from the original Broadway production was put back into the show, and existing material was reordered and reassigned. That production would go on to be nominated for 11 Broadway World Awards, including Best Musical. By February of 2014, most of the original Broadway cast reunited for a staged concert of the musical at Lincoln Center's Avery Fisher Hall. The concert was produced by Manhattan Concert Productions and featured a chorus of 200 singers from across the country. A 2023 UK tour was filmed and released to stream on Broadway HD. This version added a new sequence, which the 1997 film depicts, in which First Officer Murdoch commits suicide out of responsibility over the disaster. Maury Yeston had this to say about the new UK tour. I think it's more resonant than ever. We still have to learn lessons about class structure, enabling people to rise above their conditions and making the opportunities in society more equal. The story of the Titanic is also inspirational because despite the tragic ending, it shows that we dare and we dare nobly. When we see the examples of self sacrifice that occur on board the ship, with some people willingly not getting into the lifeboats because they feel others should, there's inspiration in that too. There's also the theme of hoping against hope that things will somehow be okay. Even when Mr. and Mrs. Strauss are on the deck and they know they're not going to survive, they sing a song to each other which basically says, I love you now as much as I did the day we were married. Even when all the women and children are off the ship and everyone left knows they're not going to survive, they also sing to each other, across the chasm we'll meet tomorrow, that somehow some of them will survive and see each other again. That's the human spirit, hoping even in the face of hopelessness. Now, in June of this year, there is said to be an off Broadway concert at New York City Center Encores. The cast is set to include television actress and musical theater performer Bonnie Milligan, Tony winner Chuck Cooper, stage and screen actor Drew Gayling, Canadian actor, singer, and songwriter Raman Karimloo, the original voice of Disney's Pocahontas Judy Kuhn, Tony nominee Brandon Uranowitz, and Falsetto's original Marvin Chip Zion. Folks, Titanic reminds us that even the grandest human achievements can be fleeting, and that the stories of the people who lived, loved, and perished aboard the ship continue to echo in the depths of history.